Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to unboxing Texas, what it's like living in Texas. So yeah, I think this video is going to go into all things based around what this state has to offer. I guess like the culture, the food, there's so many things that I can say that I can't think of. Which is what you can get up to, the work opportunities, yeah, everything around it. I mean, if this question was like asked me 5 years ago, I'm almost certain I would say somewhere like California. Like when I was like 18, 19. Yeah, California is exactly what I would say. But now I have more knowledge on states. I actually think Texas is right up there for states that I would genuinely love to live in. I think it's just got so much to offer from what I've seen. Maybe this video will also give some sort of negatives of living here. I don't know. I mean, there's no income tax, which is obviously great. But I think then with that, things are just generally a lot more expensive. I think that's how it works when there's no income tax, but I'm not an expert, so I don't know. But we're going to see. And that's pretty much it. Let's jump into this reaction and see what it's like living in this state.
Been sent to spread the message. God bless Texas.
What have I got myself into?
Y'all know we're heading to the south when I start off by saying y'all.
Y'all.
Want something a little more regionally specific? Okay, y'all. I just parked my truck outside of Whataburger on I-35, and this guy with a Beto shirt walked by singing my favorite Willie song, and then out of nowhere a thunderstorm rolled in. The temperature dropped by 20 degrees, and then by the time I got home to do this video, it was back into the 90s. Yep, that's right, folks. Today we're heading to Texas.
Yeah.
You might have seen some of our other videos where we guide you around a city and tell you what it's like to live there. Well, buckle up, cowboy, because today we're doing the same for Texas. And the Lone Star State is a hell of a lot bigger than any little...
It is worth noting this video is like 6 years old, so it may be a little bit outdated, but still.
...whole city. In fact, Texas is bigger than many countries combined.
That's crazy. I mean, I know Texas is big, but when you look at it, it's bigger than... I mean, it's not all of Germany, but let's just say... Yeah, but then there's stuff missing here. So it's bigger than Germany, the half of Czech Republic, half of Austria, a bit of Italy. Like, yeah, it's just... it's just crazy. Like, realistically, you could go from Leeds in the UK to Milan in Italy, and that's like the length of Texas, pretty much. I mean, probably actually further. You probably go to like, I mean, I'm just trying to sort of compare. You could put that there. That'll go down to like Monaco, probably.
So get out your
Crazy.
Copenhagen, your ratty old Cowboys jersey, and pack your heat as we unbox the state of Texas. Let's begin with some Texas stereotypes, some of which are true and some of which are not.
If I was to think of Texas stereotypes, I don't really know what I'd think of. It's just like America on steroids. It's like basically just America, the American state that's just everything enhanced. Yeah. Everything's bigger in Texas, there you go. So food portions are bigger, cars are bigger, homes are bigger, everything's bigger here.
To start, things really are bigger here.
There we
Food
go.
portions, trucks, boobs, hair,
Oh,
houses,
all
and
of
the
it.
number of miles you'll drive in a day.
I'm
Food
going to
is
assume
serious.
the boobs are bigger because of people being bigger. Right, there is definitely a correlation there, but no, I don't actually know.
It's business around these parts. Texans have a genetic predisposition to love Tex-Mex. For y'all who don't know, this is sort of like Mexican food, but with a whole lot more cheese. Texans don't
Fair.
F around with their barbecue, breakfast tacos, big bowl margaritas, and of course, everyone here loves eating all things fried at the state fair.
What is that?
Not everyone owns a gun, but some people certainly do. People really do say y'all. It's just more efficient. People are just plain friendly here. And when you're going down the street and somebody waves, they don't want anything from you. They're just being nice. And of course, Texans are very independently minded. After all, if you recall, Texas was once its own nation. Now, what it's like to live in Texas today is largely based on the state's history. In 1519, Spanish conquistadors founded Texas, which means they basically stole land from Native Americans who'd been living there for thousands of years.
Fairs.
Between 1519 and 1865, all or parts of Texas were claimed by 6 different countries, hence the name Six Flags. Now during that time, there were a whole bunch of settlers and missionaries coming in from Spain. Then when Mexico gained its independence from Spain in 1821, Mexican Texas was part of a new nation. After Mexico's leader Santa Anna started shifting politically to the right, people in Mexican Texas wanted to revolt. Thus, the Texas Revolution in 1835. Oh yeah, Texas won. That's when Texas declared itself an independent nation, the Republic of Texas. One thing led to another. There was a civil war in there, and over the next century, Texas gained wealth, not from agriculture, but from its plentiful oil and service-oriented society. Segregation ended in the 60s, and between that time and now, Texas went from a solidly Democratic state to a nearly solidly Republic state.
Oh, wow.
These days, Texas has both the second largest population and the second biggest GDP, just behind California. Now, this brings us to, what's it like to actually live in this giant...
Is Texas catching up to California? Because I feel like a lot of Californian companies have moved to Texas because of the no income tax. So I think that's one of those things that's driving people to move to Texas in terms of just people like with families, but also businesses as well. So I assume Texas is slowly catching up, but I guess California's just got such massive companies, it'll be a long time.
Economically booming, Republican-leaning state. That's a tricky thing to answer, because as you might have gathered, Texas is big. You've got your big cities, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, and El Paso to start. And each of these largest cities has a decidedly different culture. For instance, Houston. It's Texas's biggest city, both in population and area, and is mostly known around here as the muggiest, most industrial, and most museum-filled city. That is, unless you live here, of course. Locals know that Houston is so big that it has its own little subcultures, just like Texas itself. There's the wealthy older conservatives, wealthy younger conservatives, not so wealthy middle-aged conservatives. Okay, so overall, Houston's pretty conservative. But there's pockets of liberals and hippies and hipsters and all kinds of people in this city. And of course, highways.
Mate,
Lots.
is this actually a highway in Houston? This is mad. How many... So there's obviously the road here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes higher. 5. Is this even higher? 6? There's got to be at least 5 to 6 levels here. Not layers. Damn, bro.
And lots of highways. Geographically, Houston's located in East Texas, just
I never realised how close Houston actually was to the coast. It's really close to it.
inland of the Gulf of Mexico. That means not only does Houston get hot like the rest of Texas, but it also gets muggy as all hell. So good thing there's the gorgeous beach of Galveston nearby. Galveston, oh Galveston. Now let's stop by San Antonio. Remember the Alamo?
I guess it's not a nice beach.
Yeah, that's in San Antonio, but there's a whole lot more going on here too. This city is just about an hour and a half outside the state capital, and it's home to a huge Hispanic population. But while San Antonio's population is 63% Hispanic, there's huge pockets of the city where the population's predominantly white or predominantly black. Yes, that's right, folks. Legal segregation may have dissolved in the 20th century, but still today, many Texas cities are largely divided in terms of race and socioeconomic privilege.
Damn.
Unlike Houston, which is a large international and somewhat more business-focused, San Antonio's culture has maintained more of the rough and
really
readiness. I mean, this is the place where the Battle of the Alamo was fought. San Antonio is a city of tacos, margaritas, and shooting your guns.
Hell yeah.
Its streets are clogged with giant trucks. Spurs fans will straight up kill you if you insult their team. And if you don't speak Spanglish, you might as well just tell people you're just in town.
Spanglish? The hell is... it's Spanish and English, but what the hell is Spanglish? Oh, so that Spurs team. I remember when I first got into like basketball in the NBA with like Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. That was my first like team that I actually loved. Obviously, I don't think they were even playing when I like started reacting to them, but that was like the sort of the first players that I felt like I actually had some sort of connection to. I don't know. I just like the San Antonio Spurs. They're my second NBA team. I don't know why I ended up going for the Celtics. I think I just wanted a big team. Because it's basically the Lakers and the Celtics for me are the ones that I knew beforehand, and they are just like the two top teams. I guess the Bulls when they had Jordan and stuff, but yeah, the Spurs with that team when I first got into doing basketball reactions. Yeah, they had some ballers, man. Doesn't really matter. There's no correlation, but just when I hear the Spurs, it makes me think of those two players specifically.
Visiting the Riverwalk, because clearly you're not from San Antonio.
I speak Spanglish. Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Is this guy like...
Hey.
You're gonna need a car to get
Is he
around
on
San
drugs,
Antonio.
bro?
In fact, you pretty much have to have a car if you live anywhere in Texas. Everything is so damn spread out. And no, Texans don't ride around on horses, but some of them do wear cowboy hats and boots. Lots of them, actually. Sometimes even at football games. Football's a religion unto itself for most folks in Texas. They're passionate about the University of Texas, the Texans, and of course, the damn Cowboys. Plus, high school football
The biggest
here
meme
is
in American football.
huge. Now, if you're jonesing for a city with a little less good old boy je ne sais quoi, don't worry. Texas has got you covered with Austin, the capital of Texas, known as the little blue dot in a red state, meaning Austin's just about as liberal as cities come. Sure, Austin's got its gun-toting, right-wing leaning taco eaters, because everyone in Texas has a diet consisting largely of tacos, but mostly, Austin's known as a music lover's paradise, with live music every night of the week. It's a haven for hippies and hipsters. Austin's a relatively young city, home to several universities, and of course, home to some of the fittest and attractive people in the country. If that sounds good to you, you're not alone. Austin's one of the fastest growing cities in the country, with its growing tech industry, plentiful nightlife, and outdoorsiness. But do remember, even though Austin is feeling increasingly like Los Angeles in some ways, it is still in Texas. Now, speaking of quintessential Texas, let's head over to Dallas. Have you ever seen the show Dallas?
Never. What the fuck?
All big blonde hair, big boobs, and big accents? Yeah, that's still pretty accurate. Dallas is sort of like the wealthy, more conservative, yuppie older sister of Austin. Where Austin wears flip-flops and a t-shirt and smokes pot all day, Dallas is probably wearing Tony Birch and Chanel and vaping pot. And it's not just a stereotype. Dallas is wealthy. In fact, it's second only to New York City in its population of billionaire denizens, especially when you consider suburbs like Frisco and Plano. In Dallas, you'll find designer shops, exquisite cuisine, country clubs, and mansions. But of course, not everyone's rolling in the dough in the city. In fact, it's also known for its industry and support of farmers and agriculture. And let's not forget about DFW, one of the largest international airports around. And speaking of DFW, there's Fort Worth, a big city right next door to Dallas. Residents here tend to be a little of everything. There's a young crowd, since there's a university there called TCU. It's also home to artists, musicians, and hippies. It's got conservatives, cowboys, and cowgirls. Speaking of cowboys and cowgirls, shouldn't we just call them cow people? All right, cow people, let's mosey on to the next big old city we're going to cover in Texas, El Paso. Now, if you're not from Texas, you might have heard about El Paso lately as the hometown of Texas Senate nominee Beto O'Rourke. O'Rourke talked a lot about his hometown, but what's this place actually like? Well, it's nestled just next to the Rio Grande River, the border between Texas and Mexico. As such, it has a large population of Hispanic residents, and many residents speak primarily Spanish. Now, we have to bring up the border wall. As you can see on this chart, when El Paso beefed up its southern border barrier in 1993, and then again in 2008, crime in El Paso went down.
Did you know President Trump is trying to build a big border wall?
Yes, Mappy, we knew that. Thanks for doing your homework once again. El Paso's mostly dry, as in climate. There's plenty of bars and venues. But when it rains here, it pours. For real, flash flood type rain. This can be dangerous, but Texans are pretty well versed in intense sudden storms and know how to.
Yeah, this seems way too it's sort of like speaking into existence with what's happening in Texas now. Damn.
Handle themselves. What's even more dangerous in Texas? No, not tornadoes, but they have those. Not rattlesnakes, they got those too. Or even incredibly poisonous scorpions. Yeah, they have those. No, what's most dangerous in Texas is actually crime. It's not that Texas has a higher crime rate than anywhere else in the country. However, if you plan to travel or live in places like Belmead, Donna, Humble, or Texarkana, you better be packing. Those places are dangerous. So is anywhere near the Mexican border. Of course, Texas is so big, and there's many other medium-sized cities and smaller towns, from safe to crime-filled, from rich to poor. They're as varied as the stars in the Texas night sky. Texans are a very unique bunch. It's pickup trucks galore here. It's breakfast tacos, lunchtime tacos, and supper tacos.
Hell yeah.
It's a very diverse place. In fact, the second most diverse state in America. But Texas will all come together with a big ol' Southern FU to anyone who messes with Texas. Because at the heart of it, whether you're a liberal or conservative, from a small town or big city, if you're from Texas, that sense of pride, independence, and downright stubbornness is just plain in your blood. It's welcoming and friendly, yet independent and prideful. It's slow-paced and old-fashioned, yet cosmopolitan and international. It's old and new. It's rich and poor. It's desert and forests. Hell, it's oceans and mountains. Love it or hate it, it's Texas, a state unlike any other. Y'all come back now, you hear?
I mean, yeah. There we go. There's Texas. I mean, I feel like this just sort of went into the cities. This wasn't really Texas as a whole. But I do find this, the state pretty cool. Why am I watching this? I live in Texas. Texas is hands down the best state in the union. Moved here from Louisiana after college. The state can't be real. No, it can't be beat. Yeah, the weather in Texas is so unpredictable. Yesterday was 70 degrees. And today it's 30. Damn. The stars at night are bright, are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. I bet half of the people who's watching this are from Texas and fact checking. I'm one of those people. I mean, some of you will be from Texas as well. Let me know your thoughts. This is obviously quite outdated. It's 6 years back. But I always just sort of take Texas as a place that I just think would be great to move to. I think it's just got so much to offer. But this just talked about cities and like what they have to offer, not the whole of Texas. He sort of briefly done it at the end, but not really. But that's pretty much it, I guess. What it's like living in Texas. Let me know if this is true or not. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.